You're listening to the Simplified CEO, the podcast that shows you business does not have to be complicated. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's show you how you can get success in every area of your life the simpler way. Just before we jump into today's episode, I have to give today's sponsor a shout out. Now, you know, here on Simplified CEO, we are all about the simple life in business. And I know one of the main areas every entrepreneur wishes was simpler was the bookkeeping. Well, it can be with today's sponsor, Xero. This is an accounting software I have used for years, and honestly, it's made it so easy for me to keep a track of everything. It automates manual tasks, meaning I'm not losing hours to admin, and it can be done from anywhere using their fantastic mobile app. So if you're looking for a simpler way to keep on top of your bookkeeping, go and check out Xero today using the link in the show notes below for a special offer. Now let's get back to today's episode. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Simplified CEO. I am your host, Claire Bartlett, and today I am answering one of those questions that I see all of the time. If I was to start again, all over again today, what would I do differently? And this is an interesting one for me because I have actually launched a new business at the beginning of this year. So I can actually, instead of telling you what I would do, I'm going to be telling you what I actually did and how that differs from what I did over a decade ago when I launched my first business. So buckle up. We're going to be talking all through the main 5 areas of setting up a business and the way to grow that brand and grow that brand awareness, and the things that I did the same and the things that I did differently. So, going in at number 1, obviously, the main areas in business, and I talk about this all of the time, is having a really clear vision and mission and purpose for your business. And that is something that I actually didn't have at all in the first business. That business, when I set it up, was literally just to bring in some extra income into the household after having my daughter. I didn't envision growing a business. I didn't have that mindset. So I didn't go in with a vision or a purpose, an end goal to the business. So I had to adapt that and grow that with the business as the business grew, and kind of do it retrospectively, which is hard. And it is definitely not ideal. So, one of the very first things I worked on when I knew I was setting up the new business in the coaching space was I had to ask myself those difficult questions. What is the actual purpose of this business? Why am I setting it up? I had to get absolutely super clear on what it was that I wanted to achieve with the business, who I wanted to help with the business, and what I personally wanted from it. Those are 3 key areas that you need to know the answers for. And that has really helped me in the new business be able to, it's sort of like your North Star. It's having the answers to every question that you're going to be faced with in business. And it makes it so much easier because everything that comes up to me, every opportunity, everything that I'm looking at and implementing into the business, I just have to look at that vision and that purpose that I sort of aligned with in the very beginning and ask myself, does this help me achieve those goals? Is it aligned with that purpose and that mission that I know, is my guiding light? If it isn't aligned with that, then it's a very easy no. And that helps you focus, it helps you strategize and understand where you should be putting your attention and where you don't need to be focusing and wasting your energy. So that is the absolute first, the most fundamental element of going into business. It's having that clarity on what it is that you're wanting to achieve and why. And then number 2, and I already hinted on it, it's having the mindset. So when I first went into business, I had that sort of sole trader mindset that it was literally just to bring in income, how much I could bring in on an hourly basis to support my family and my household. I didn't have that CEO mindset. I didn't look at the bigger picture. I didn't realize that I was an entrepreneur and I was in business, if that makes sense. I hadn't thought of it that way. And that had to have some real big shifts through that decade to turn me into an entrepreneur and into a CEO. And it's really hard when you're already in the depths of running a business to make those adjustments and to become that CEO. So I'm really blessed that I had already had that transition. So I knew the kind of mindset that I needed when I set up this second business. having that CEO mindset, having the clarity and being able to look in the future, have further reaching goals and ambitions, and not just be looking at like, well, how much money do I want to bring in this month? That can really help you because you need to understand that, yes, like in the here and now, this is what I need to be focusing on. But if that is where I want to be in 5 years' time, that is my end vision and my mission. How can I achieve that? What do I need to be doing in year 3, in year 1, and in month 1 to help me achieve those goals? So, again, having the mindset to be looking further and understand that you are building a business, you are building an empire. There might be moments in the future where you need staff. You need to look at the whole transition of what you're wanting to achieve and how you're going to get there, and then break that down. And you need to have the mindset and the belief that you can do that. And then number 3 is branding and marketing. And again, I I suppose I hit the jackpot in the first business, but completely by accident. So I started that business at a time where websites still were pretty dead. They had been created at the very beginning, the foundation of the internet, and people hadn't touched them since then. So when I came with quite a modern, fresh looking website, and obviously this was in the accounting space. So being fresh and modern in the accounting space, it made you stand out for the right reasons very easily. So I focused on having a fresh and modern brand. And I've done exactly the same thing in this time. Again, it's having that clarity on the mission and being able to share your message with uber clarity. And it hasn't come instantly. In this new business, it's taken me almost a year probably to really tweak it, to constantly have the conversations with my ideal clients, really understand their pain points and how I can best help them. So it will evolve, and especially if you're right at the beginning, what you think your sort of mission and your message is today will probably change in the next 12 months. But it's about being flexible with that, having your understanding of your mission and purpose, and then being flexible with the messaging around that and which elements of it will be your strong message. One thing that that's really helped me here with this is the giving people what they need, not what they want. Because I knew when I went into this, one of the fundamental um, issues that people face in business is having the confidence in themselves to really push and grow their business. So when I first launched the coaching business, that was where I focused my energy. It's helping you with your confidence. But obviously, people need that, but they don't necessarily want that or know that they want that, if that makes sense. So I needed to change my messaging around, okay, well, what are people actually going out there and looking for? Well, if the confidence is holding them back, they might think that it's actually their marketing. They're not getting the leads because they're not being confident enough to put themselves out there. So it's about going through the layers. It's like peeling back an onion. So the confidence is the whole onion altogether. But if you peel it back, how is that impacting people? Where are the actual physical pain points on a day to day basis? And that is your marketing. So it's really understanding the pain points, being super specific, making sure that it's what people want, not necessarily what they need. So when they're going into Google or they're going onto GPT or they're putting out on social media and asking for their friends for recommendations, what is it specifically that they're asking for? And then that is your messaging, and that is what you build your entire marketing and advertising campaign around. Okay. And then number 4 is actually getting that message out there. It's building that brand awareness. And one of the key things that really helps me build the first business, and again, I've absolutely focused on in the second business, is networking. It is absolutely gold. You can do it for free. There are some paid events, but getting out there, getting the message, having the conversations is really critical for so many reasons. Obviously, yes, it's helping you with the brand awareness. The more people that you can speak to, the more people that are going to be aware of your business and what you're doing. But secondly, it actually helps you solidify your message and how you present it to the world. The more times that you repeat, your introduction or your elevator pitch, however you want to call it, the more times that you can say it out loud, and you'll see what feels comfortable for you, what needs tweaking. You'll see how it lands with people. And then eventually it becomes second nature and you can deliver it with your eyes closed, in the split second, you're not having to think about it. And that is really vital. And the only way that you can get that is by practicing it And the best way to practice it is in face to face with your ideal clients at networking. And people say that networking is dead. What I think is dead is the art of collecting business cards and handing out business cards. That's never really worked for me. I've always collected them all, I put them in my drawer, and I never look at them again. But what is really critical is just having those conversations. What you're wanting to achieve, it's not looking for direct sales. It's not going into a networking event and saying to everybody, "Hi, I'm Claire. I'm a business coach and strategist. This is who I help," and expecting that person to be in the room and give me their money on that day. It does happen, but it's very unlikely. What you are looking for is for you to be the first person in anyone in that room's mind. So if anybody they know says, "Oh, I'm really struggling with this, I could really do with a business coach," they would all say, "Oh, I've met someone, her name's Claire, and she's really great, and this is exactly how she helps people." That is the purpose of networking. So it's really critical that you can practice that message, get it really clear, get it to the world, go to these networking events. And there's so many on, in face to face, online. There's ones in the morning, there's ones late at night. There will be a networking event that is specific to you that will work for you. And one final note on this is industry specific ones are great for building, a sort of support network around you and for learning about your industry and sharing, guidance and experiences. It's really great. And it's very important actually as a business owner to have that support. But that's not going to help you grow your business because they're not looking for you. They are you, in a different way. So, yes, it's really great and it helps with your sort of mental health in business and the burden that we shoulder as entrepreneurs. But that's not where you should focus in the very beginning. You need to be getting into, mixed industry spaces and really be sharing your message. And then finally, and this might sound funny to some of you because obviously of what the industry of my last business was, but it's getting a handle on the finances, understanding, how much you're going to be making, what you're going to be spending, what your actual profit margins are going to be like. It's putting that information in your head in the beginning. So you have that clear line and clear focus from day one. Now, obviously, my previous business was my first business was an accounting and bookkeeping firm. But even I didn't have that understanding in the beginning. I literally was like, this is my hourly rate. Yes, I charged hourly in the beginning. This is my hourly rate. I didn't really have any overheads, to be honest, in the beginning. So I didn't think about that side of things. But then when I struggled was when the business did start to grow and I got staff and I had premises and I had all the overheads and everything. I was still, my mindset hadn't shifted enough yet. So I wasn't looking at my profit margins as closely as I should be. And again, that was then something that I had to retrospectively resolve, which is hard. So, having put a budget and a cash flow forecast in place from day one, even if your income is really minimal in the beginning and you don't really have any overheads, just building in that habit. So, when your business does take off and you do start growing, you have more income, but you also, you have more overheads. You already have that structure in place to handle that and keep you aware of financially how your business is performing. There's some great ways of doing this. I have a little free cash flow template, but that's what I use in my business to help me with my cash flow. And I also use Zero. I have to give them a quick shout out. They're the sponsors of this podcast, but genuinely, they make it so easy to keep an eye on these things in business because this is one of the areas I know that people struggle with the most. They fear it the most and then they avoid it. They put their head in the sand. And actually, it really doesn't need to be that scary. And especially if you build it from day one, when it's very simple, there's not so many incomings and outgoings in your business. So you get comfortable with the process and the structure, then that really helps you for when your business does take off. So putting these things in place is so important. And I will put a link to my free template down below and the link for the special offer from Zero. So please go and check them out. Go and see how they can be implemented in your business to make your life easier, to have that clarity. Um, But that's it. That's what I would do. And that's what I did do when I was focusing on creating a new business. So to recap, have a super clear vision and a mission and purpose for your business. Have that absolute crystal clarity on what the business is for, who it is for, what you want from the business, and how you are going to achieve it. And then make sure, number two, you have that CEO mindset. So you can actually achieve those goals, look further into the future, see that bigger picture, visualize it, and then break it down how you are going to achieve it. Number three is your messaging and your marketing. Make sure that you again use that clarity that you have to really zoom in on the pain points of the clients, really get to stand out in the crowd, and focus on where to spend your time. And then number four is get out there, spread the message, do the networking, connect with people on social media. Don't wait for people to stumble upon you. You have to get that message out there. That should be your absolute number one focus in the beginning of business. And then finally, number five, put that structure in place to understand your finances, understand your cash flow, understand your profit margins, and do that from day one, even when it feels pointless, even if you don't have any income coming in right now. Having that structure in place and understanding your outgoings can really help you. And then as your business grows and as these things become more important, you have already got it. You've already ticked it off and it's already in place. So that's it. Super quick one from me today. Those are my 5 key areas of if I started again and when I did start again, how I spent my time, what I focused on in my business, and what were the 5 key areas that I needed to spend my energy in to really make the business a success. Let me know in the comments, connect with me on Instagram. So let me know if that resonates with you. Let me know if one of those areas is what you focused on and how you have grown your business, or if some of them are ones that you are now trying to step back into and realign with your business. And I will catch you all next week. Have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you are ready to make your life simpler, then don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Xero, the accounting software that is ready to supercharge your business by automating routine tasks, giving you quick access to your financial data, and helping you get paid up to twice as fast using their online invoice payments. So if you are ready for a simpler way to keep on top of your bookkeeping, go check out Xero today. Get their special offer using the link in the show notes below.